On this episode, I talk with the super talented Richard Elfman. We talk about his new book, The Schlimazel of Sebreim, from Encyclopocalypse Publications. That was a whole bunch of tongue twisters there, so hopefully I pronounced some of that decently. So I don't know, but we're also joined for a bit from the great Anastasia Elfman, and we go down the rabbit hole of her new film, Bloody Bridget, which is also like a film and a burlesque play type show, which is supposed to be really awesome. And if it's in your city, you should definitely check it out. Had a killer time talking with Richard and Anastasia, and I hope you enjoy this episode. After you're done with this episode, make sure you check out my fellow horsemen of the podcast Apocalypse, Everything Went Black podcast, Into the Necrosphere, the Necromaniacs podcast, Spitball Media, Iblis Manifestations, and the Soul Knocks podcast. Also, check out the Horrorwolf 666 podcast Teespring store. I have shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, shot glasses, and some other stuff on there. So if you check that out, that would be awesome, and that helps support the podcast and, keeps me going. So appreciate that. Also, whatever podcast service you use, if you could leave me a rating, hopefully a 5-star rating, but, a rating in general just helps, and it helps with the algorithm and all that good stuff, and gets my show out there a bit more. So that's much appreciated if you do that and leave me a rating. So, hope you enjoyed this episode, and thanks so much for listening.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Excellent. You're in South Carolina?
Yeah, I'm in South Carolina, and we're finally getting some kind of cooler weather, finally.
Oh, has it been hot?
Yeah, it's been like, I think this summer is like one of the hottest summers ever. Every day for like a month or two was over 100 degrees.
and humid there, I imagine.
It is. That's the worst part. I don't mind a dry heat, but down here in the South, it's like a wet, humid heat. So you just you walk out the house, you just start sweating automatically. It's horrible.
Yeah, I'm a big perspirer, so it's although it's good for cigars. Humid air.
Yeah, I'm horrible. I sweat in the wintertime, but I'm a big, long-haired, bearded fella, so it doesn't take much anyways, you know what I mean? So yeah, it doesn't take much at all. You're out in California, right? Or
yeah, well, I'm right under the Hollywood sign in Los Angeles.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been to California a few times. I dig the weather over there, even though it does get hot, but it's not like a super humid hot or anything like that. It's kind of dry.
Yeah, it's quite dry. Yeah, that makes a big difference.
It does. Yeah, California's cool. I'd like to go back again one day. Last time I was there, I went to Oakland and San Francisco and stuff. San Francisco was really pretty.
Yeah, I'm doing a show there in a few weeks.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah, we've got our film Bloody Bridget, so it's doing the festival circuit, and my wife Anastasia and I, we do like music and burlesque live pre-show.
Oh, that's badass. I've seen the Bloody Bridget promo stuff going around on Facebook and everything, because I think I follow you on Facebook or Twitter, one of the two, and it does look really interesting and cool.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun with this.
That's awesome. Before this podcast episode, I made a revisit to the great cult awesome movie, Forbidden Zone. That was a fun watch.
Oh, thank you.
It's so ahead of its time. It feels, I know it came out in 1980, but to me it feels like one of those early 90s films. I don't know why it has that feeling to it. It's just so out there and fucking awesome,
Wait till you see Bloody Bridget, but thank you for the kind words.
You said Bloody Bridget's playing now it's doing the different festivals and everything.
Yeah. So it's God, we've been in 8 or 10 cities, and then we've got another half dozen coming up in the next month. I think we're San Francisco, Las Vegas, Portland, New York, doing live shows in all of them.
Nice. I wish South Carolina was on that map, but Yeah, we're not really big for like cool stuff in South Carolina. We get like when it comes to like bands or anything like that, any kind of big bands, so always kind of skip South Carolina. Any kind of cool stuff goes around us for some damn reason. But
Oh well, you've got a cool podcast going.
yeah, I got that. So I think I'm the only like one of the only hard podcasts I know about is South Carolina. I'm sure there's others because everybody has a damn podcast anymore. So, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know any other ones from South Carolina off the top of my head that are just like strictly horror, you know. So, but yeah, so yeah, I got hit up from and it's always hard to say this damn name, Encyclo
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yeah, PD or whatever. So I always get
Yeah,
that tongue tied on that and stuff. And yeah, they're telling me that you got your first novella coming out, a awesome vampire novella.
yeah. Did you get a chance to read it?
I have not got to read it yet. I'm so booked up right now with different things I need to get done reading. It's crazy, but it's on my list. It's definitely on my list.
It's a fun little book.
And that comes out in November 21st, correct? Or is it
Yes.
already out? Okay.
No, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. What were your like inspirations to get started on this novella? Like, what inspired you?
I don't know how that works. It's I just kind of got the idea and wrote it.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, initially I was thinking of doing it as a movie script, but then I said, no, let's just do a little novel instead, and you can kind of get more into the heads of the
Right.
characters.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense because like with novels or novellas or whatever, you get more you get more of a detailed feel for the characters than you do in like film or whatever. So,
Yeah.
did you base it off any other pre-existing like vampire novels or vampire films?
Not really. I mean, there's a little bit of Fiddler on the Roof. There's a little bit of Dracula, a little bit of what do you call it? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice. That's awesome. Without like giving away any like big giant spoilers, like what's like a short synopsis of it and stuff that people who haven't read it yet can expect.
Well, this little Jewish guy Schlimazel is like got a really hard time of it in the town. Like the peasants hate him, his family's terrible, uh, and then he falls in love with the innkeeper's pretty blonde daughter Ludmilla,
Hmm.
and then he's beaten half to death and thrown out to die in the snow. And a carriage comes up, and a beautiful woman in black brings him out and bites his neck, and then kind of like makes a little cut on her nipple with her fingernail and suckles him like a little yarmulke baby and
Hmm.
turns him into a vampire. And so he sets upon getting revenge, taking Ludmilla, but he wants to change back because he knows this isn't clean and isn't righteousness. So it's kind of a tale of love, lust, revenge, and redemption.
Nice. Definitely sounds good. Is this novella kind of like does it have like a comic twist to it, or is it pretty straightforward?
No, there's everything I do has a wry humor to it.
Hmm. That's cool. Yeah.
The wry Elfman humor.
So kind of has that I guess I would look at it like the Forbidden Zone type feel to it, maybe, and that kind of humor. Yeah.
Not really.
No.
Not. It's it's not. I mean, it's not like that zany. It's more of a straightforward story, but it's fun to
Hmm.
read. That you smile and chuckle as you're reading it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely cool. I'm into vampires, werewolves, all that stuff. Not so much with the zombie stuff, just because it's been oversaturated in the past like 20 years. I'm so tired of
Yeah,
zombies, so it's nice to have like a cool new vampire, novella out. So,
yeah.
what are speaking of vampires and stuff? Do you have like what are some of your like favorite vampire films from the years?
Well, obviously the Bela Lugosi's original one, and God, I like Fearless Vampire Killers. Yeah, this is a little bit like Fearless Vampire Killers.
Okay.
taking place in the past.
Hmm.
I loved Andy Warhol's Dracula. That was like brilliant.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah,
Definitely a different
that's one of
take
my
on it.
favorites. Yeah, yeah, and Udo Kier, who played Dracula in that. I did a vampire film called Revenant, or Modern Vampires, about 20 years ago, and Udo Kier was one of my vampires.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Modern Vampires is also a cool film. I've seen that back in the day. I haven't
Yeah,
revisited that one in a while, so I should probably put that on my list to check out again.
yeah, yeah. It's a fun one.
Yeah. I think some of my favorite vampire films, from back in the day to now, like I really like the 1979, I believe, Nosferatu. That one's really good, and I really have a lot of respect for the Bram Stoker Dracula that came out in the 90s. That was a really good one.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool. That was cool. A
Yeah, and
little,
this,
that was Francis Ford Coppola, I think.
yes, yeah, that's one of my favorite vampire movies of all time.
And then we just did a vampire film, Bloody Bridget, although it's much more, she's turned into a Valentine vampire, and blood only whets her appetite. She has to eat their beating hearts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
and
so
that's the one you're selling. That's the one you're doing right now. That's doing the tour and everything. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I'd like to make Schlimazel into a movie at some point.
That would be great. Yeah. Or if you did do a movie version of it, are you going to do like kind of like a live performance thing with it as well, or?
That comes. We'll see how we feel after we shoot it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Let's go back to Bloody Bridge and stuff. Tell me like kind of the origins on that, how that gets started and everything.
Well, my wife's a ballet dancer and created this. I don't know. I mean, it's burlesque, but it's not like normal, like boom boom burlesque. It's like David Lynch dark.
Nice.
And so that kind of inspired me for this character. And God, how do you? Okay, so you know about the Rastafarians in Jamaica?
Yes.
Okay, so they kind of deified Haile Selassie, the former emperor of Ethiopia, and made him a god in Jamaica. And Tafari is his name in Ethiopia, and Ras is king, hence Ras Tafari, Rastafari, and that's where that came from. So if you go to Haiti, the Baron of the King of Life and Death is Baron Samadai, wears a top hat, smokes a cigar, drinks rum, chases women, and also part of the folklore is his wife is Maman Brigitte, who's a red-haired Celtic goddess from Ireland, who's also known as Saint Bridget of Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So Samadai hasn't seen his wife in 90 years and mistakes a red-haired Irish burlesque dancer from a dive bar as his missing wife. And he thinks she's lost her memory, so he turns her into a Valentine vampire, where blood only whets her appetite. She must eat the beating hearts. So it's a fun story.
That's really cool and really unique too, because that's something totally different. You don't really hear about that aspect of like vampirism and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But she's we rip a lot of hearts out.
Nice. So a ton of gore then.
Ridiculous amount of gore.
Nice. Yeah, I'm all about that. I'm all about the practical gore as well. So that sounds up my alley.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I met my wife Anastasia. This was it was like 12 years ago. She's doing nights with acting at Stella Adler, but her day job was in a practical effects house. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how we met, was over practical effects.
That's awesome. That's a great way to meet,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then we had Roy Kinnearum with Soda Effects, has done all my effects for 25 years, going back to Modern Vampires.
That's great. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of practical effects. I've said it multiple times on this podcast. I know CGI does have its place, and it does help benefit some, practical effects, instead of just like keeping it as it is, where it's like straight CGI. If you got some practical mixed with CGI, I'm okay with that. It's just when things get so overly CGI'd and this takes out the reality of the whole thing.
No, I agree. All of our gore was practical with some CGI touch-ups, but then our backgrounds were CGI. But the actual ripping the heart out of the chest were actual devices, that we had fabricated.
No, that's definitely cool. Yeah, I have no issues with backgrounds being CGI. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. It's always like the blood, the gore, and the creature effects. I love those to be practical. They're more believable.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
I
Yeah, we're very much a practical effects based household here.
That's great news because it feels like it's almost becoming a somewhat of a dying art. There's a few movies that's been bringing it back, like Terrifier and stuff like that, which actually got to the big screens with all the practical effects. But like the big giant budget movies like your Transformers, all the Marvel stuff, the CGI just I don't know, it doesn't make it believable whatsoever. If you're gonna do that kind of shit, you might as well just leave it as a cartoon if you're doing like a Marvel movie or something.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, those I'm almost burned out on those for a while. Uh, it's what was the new Marvel one? I don't know. Maybe we'll see it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's so many I can't keep track. Back during when we had all this time off for like COVID and everything, I was like, all right, fuck it. I've been avoiding the Marvel movies for a long time, and my friends was like, my friends are telling me you need to watch it, from the actual timeline, like you go from this movie to this movie. So I decided to do that for like a month, and go through all the Marvel movies. And I was like, it's overwhelming, and they keep coming out with new shit, and there's new stuff popping out on the Disney app right now that I didn't even know existed. Like it's hard to keep up with all that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we have a daughter into genre, almost 16. She kind of keeps us abreast of things.
That's good because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff out. I have at least 20 different streaming services, and I also collect physical media. So, and I still
Okay,
can't keep up with stuff.
there you go.
Yeah.
You're into horror.
Oh yeah, horror's my thing. That's my favorite genre and stuff. And yeah, right now with all the streaming services, they're awesome. You can find shit you haven't seen for years. But I'm not a big fan of the dwindling physical media presence that's going on right now. And it's not cool. Like I think Best Buy, they don't sell Blu-rays anymore. That's going to be happening next year. But it's a weird time for physical media.
Yeah, yeah. So everything's. I mean, also we just had this big SAG strike here,
Hmm.
so everything's kind of turned on its ear.
Yeah, it's been a wild year, wild few years actually. Shit.
Yeah, with COVID. Yeah, yeah. We were when the strike first started. We had we were sent tickets to a festival in Miami called Popcorn Frights, and we had to cancel. And then like a few weeks later, we got a waiver from SAG to attend festivals. But they told us we couldn't go.
Well, yeah, I had a few podcast guests lined up, some people I really wanted to interview and stuff, but since the strike, some weren't able to do like podcasts or there's different rules and stuff for things that can be done with actors and everything and writers.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I'm glad that's over.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. My friend Joe Russo posted about the strike finally being over and stuff. So that's really great news. I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, a lot of friends of ours in Hollywood really suffered. My brother Danny Elfman was doing Beetlejuice 2 was put on hold. I mean, now it's back going again. And
Nice.
my daughter-in-law Jenna Elfman just wrapped Fear of the Walking Dead. She's one of the co-stars on it,
Hmm.
but couldn't talk about new shows until yesterday. Everything was it was like put on ice.
Yeah, yeah, everything kind of frozen in time, but
Yeah.
now things are back and rolling again. And also that's good news about Beetlejuice 2. I'm a huge Beetlejuice fan, so and I've heard Beetlejuice 2 is gonna be pretty awesome, from what I'm hearing anyways and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, yeah. With it's one of those films that we watch over and over in the house. It's like a classic.
Oh, same here. I've been wearing out the Beetlejuice DVD and VHS since I was a kid. Oh my God, I used to like torment my parents. All I would watch as a kid was like Beetlejuice, Monster Squad, and also Little Monsters with Howie Mandel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would just wear those cassettes out when I was a kid, and I watch Beetlejuice at least twice a year. I still watch Little Monsters at least once or twice a year, like in Monster Squad. Nothing's changed there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, cool movies. Cool movies.
They are, and they're really good gateway films to get into like, darker things or just to get into horror genre period.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't go, but the gals just went and saw Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh yeah, what did they think of that?
Audrey, what did you think of Five Nights at Freddy? You're on my live podcast. Speak up.
I really liked it. I was like being a really big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, I can see people who are really big horror fans and who aren't really fans of Five Nights at Freddy's saying that it isn't really the best horror film, but it's a really great film that's made with the fans in mind, which makes me really happy.
Thank you, Audrey. Did you get all that?
Yeah, that's a great review and very cool. Thank you, Audrey. But that's another gateway horror film for like the new generation. Like I see people bad mouthing it. I'm like, why are you bad mouthing something that's going to get these, the newer audience, like, keeping horror alive? I think it's a good thing.
Well, here's the thing with practical effects. I'm going to put you on my speaker now. So let me just turn up the volume. Okay, so my wife, Anastasia, who I met in a practical effects house, grew up with Lon Chaney silent films.
Oh,
and
nice.
He was like the father of practical effects for horror. Tell us something about Lon Chaney Sr. This is Anastasia Elfman I'm bringing into the podcast.
Hi.
Oh, hey, Anastasia. Nice to meet you.
It's Bloody Bridget, by the way, as well.
Nice. And also nice to meet you, Bloody Bridget.
Lovely.
Tell us about how Lon Chaney Sr. affected you. Here, you can hand me that.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you mean how you? Well, what can I say about Lon Chaney Sr.? I mean, not only was he an incredible actor who totally captivated audience and would have been a legendary just based on that fact alone, but this guy, he totally created and laid the foundation and literally wrote the book for horror as we know it now. There was no union. There was no like makeup unions supporting him. He spent hours and months creating these characters, that are just so legendary.
Yeah, we've had his Phantom of the Opera kind of playing on our TV lately. And you know that he was set to play the vampire in the original Dracula, and he had throat cancer or something. And then a hitchhiker he picked up, Bela Lugosi, ended up getting the part.
Wow, that's crazy. Like that? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely wild. I mean, especially the way it worked out too with Bela. So, I mean, Bela's become like a cult icon. He is Dracula to most people.
Yeah, it's funny that Martin Landau, who played Bela Lugosi in the Ed Wood story, which was a great Tim Burton film, we had him for dinner. This was a few years back, and boy, did he have his Bela Lugosi, which is so amazing. I think he got an Academy Award for it.
Oh, yeah, that's killer.
Oh, no, he got the Academy Award for something else. But anyway, he did an amazing Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, I do remember Ed Wood being a really killer film, and his performance was great. That's another one I need to revisit. I haven't seen that one in at least like 10 years. That's a great film.
Yeah, I could see that. It was one of the only Tim Burton films that my brother Danny didn't do. But Howard Shore did a decent job, although I prefer my brother's music.
Yeah, it's always weird seeing a Tim Burton film or whatever. It doesn't have Danny Elfman score. It's just, I don't know. It's like peanut butter and jelly.
It did like 18 out of 20 or something though, and he's definitely doing Beetlejuice too.
That's good to know. And I believe Michael Keaton to be back as Beetlejuice, and I think Winona Ryder's in there. So I'm glad they're keeping most of the original cast and stuff. So
Yeah. I love both of those actors. Michael Keaton's just beyond brilliant as Beetlejuice. She
hmm
should have gotten like an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in that film.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, they discriminate against horror films.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, all the big award shows like the Academy and all that stuff. I think the Oscars and everything is anti-horror for the most part. You don't never see any like big horror films or take any kind of awards or anything like that, which sucks. But
Yeah, Anastasia and I, we just wait and wait for like the next good horror film. Although our favorite is probably supernatural horror.
okay, I like supernatural horror as well.
It was opposed to, I mean, there are good slasher films, but a supernatural one is our favorite.
What are some of y'all's favorites this year so far?
God,
What's come out this year?
Oh, so much. I have to look back
Really?
on
So
my
much?
internet database.
what was that one? Was it with the girl? Was it started with a B?
Oh, you talking about Barbarian?
Barbarian.
That was a couple years ago, but that
was
was
last year, yeah.
phenomenal. And I went in told my favorite way to go into seeing new horror films is going in blind. Like I listen to a ton of horror podcasts and stuff. So whenever they start doing like spoilers, I'll turn them off until like I've watched something.
Mhm.
And Barbarian was so radical. And I love the actor who plays Mother, Matthew.
Yeah, we met him recently.
Yeah.
And by the
cool.
way, Steve Harris, who we had dinner last night, is making a video game, Barbarian.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that. I'm also a video game player myself, so that's cool as hell.
Yeah, he does these. We had dinner last night with a guy who makes like radical, I think Evil Dead,
Yeah.
and all these.
Halloween.
Yeah, makes all these video games of horror films.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, Barbarian. That was my number one film of that year. I want to say it was last year, but the years go by so fast now it's hard to say. But that one caught me off guard because I went in blind too. I don't like to go into movies I know a whole bunch of shit about. I try to avoid trailers and all that stuff. And
exactly,
wow.
Because they give away too much. They show you the monsters. It's like, why even, like for me, it's like, oh, why watch? I want the surprise in the theater.
Yeah, totally. And trailers aren't what they used to be. Back in the day, trailers were like short and to the point, and they were just like, what they were supposed to be, just to give you a glimpse of what to expect. But nowadays, like they're long ass fucking like 4-minute trailers, and it just gives away so much of the plot and everything else. It's like
trailers where I don't need to see the damn film. Hey, I've seen it all.
Right.
Exactly. Skip next.
Yeah. Thanks. You just saved us $50.
Yeah, that year I kind of wanted, what was it, like Men came out, and I wanted that to be a little bit more strange. It wasn't as weird and scary as I thought it was going to be, just based off of like the little bit that I saw beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think what else came out that year. Those were like the two bigger ones though, I think. But Barbarian was so wonderful, and it just swept. It did so great at the box office, I think, too, which is great. It's always exciting when, even if I'm not the biggest fan of a horror film, it's exciting for anybody to get a horror made and out there to the audience,
Oh yeah, I'm totally down with that. Totally support, the horror genre getting out there and like doing some stuff like that. That's fucking great.
Well, we definitely went through gallons of blood on Bloody Bridget. And in the live stage show, we're on a rip. We have a plant in the audience, and then we have like big blood packets under his shirt. Yeah. And then she rips a heart out, and we leave blood all over the stage, and blood's dripping down her. Which, when we sign stuff afterwards and do the Q&A, the audience is always charmed by her being so bloody.
That's great. How many gallons do you think y'all go through in this show?
God, I don't know, but a lot. Okay, so here's a story. So Anna's done these various screen queen films. So we're doing one in Las Vegas and staying at the fancy Bellagio Hotel. And she'd come in at 3 a.m. with her dress just dripping with blood. And I'd have to rush her into the elevator up to the room, with people all staring and worried.
She
wasn't a shooting victim or something.
It looked like I had been kidnapped or something and I was just coming back. But that was awesome. That was fun.
Yeah, I bet you got some reactions from the hotel staff and everything, or unless you are fast enough to get in there without them seeing you.
Okay, so I have friends kill me in a horror film every few years.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of them, God, it looked like I was cut in half. I'm bent like a pretzel, and half of me is underground. To do it. And so I've got all this stage blood on me. And now it's like 4 a.m. and they want to do an interview, and they've got it set up in one of the equipment trucks. And you know how what do you call the gate on the back of the truck? About 4 feet off the ground. It's pitch black. And I didn't see the gap between the gate and the truck. And I'm walking and I fall down. Like all the way down, my leg hitting something. So the first thing is like, damn, is my leg broken? And I pull myself out and my leg's not broken, but now I've got real blood mixed with the stage blood. So I lit a cigar, did the interview, and went home, and then cut my jeans off with scissors.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, another time, I'll send you the photos. Like I'm a complete demon, like head to toe. And, they've got me on a wooden table, where the guy's like chopping my arms off. So they didn't have much of a stunt coordinator, and the axe was, even though it was rubber, was like really solid. And this guy is like coming down, like right towards my nose. And I'm a boxer. So I'm good at like moving my head from side to side. So, and now like the blood is starting, and I've got this suit on, and it's running down my back, through my ass crack, down through my underwear, down to my heels. And I'm in this soggy suit with this blood. It was the worst.
Oh, that sounds horrible and super sticky.
Oh, it was so bad. And where the axe actually hit my shoulders, I was like blue on both sides.
Oh man, that's totally brutal there. Holy shit. I got to be killed in one film my whole life. So far, I want to do some more extra work, but I was in a film called Science Team. This was like 12 years ago. And my only scene was to have my head explode on, an alien explodes my head. So I had to wear like a prosthetic eyepiece where like the hole was supposed to be at and everything. And I just remember all the like fake blood and the prosthetics were all sticky and fucking hot. And it's a horrible feeling when you're mixing that in with sweat from like an 8-hour day. It's just the worst. Yeah. But fun though, fun.
Yeah. Well, we're troopers here. Anna came from ballet and actually a Marine background, so she doesn't complain.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm sure you're ready to good to go, And
I was a sparring partner on and off in a pro stable for 25 years.
Wow.
Kept me in shape. I'm not violent, but it was like a sport that I excelled in. And you could get a broken thumb sparring, and the old son of a bitch coach, say like, Kenny, my thumb's broken, and it's like, let me get out my violin, get back in the ring, pussy, and that was kind of the attitude there.
Did you ever have any like semi-pro matches or anything like that, or?
Okay, well, I was offered, like opening 4-rounders at the Olympics, at the Olympic Auditorium. But basically, it was like 200 for me, 200 for the asshole coach. I'm 40 years old, no desire for a boxing career. I never did it.
I got you, but
you have to be on like an undercard, and being a white guy, the offer was always there.
right.
My boxing name was Sugar Ray Rosenblum.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
The Schlimazel of the ring.
I bet you gained a shit ton of experience and all, though.
Well, I'm not a great boxer, but I was born in Watts, grew up in Crenshaw, and I had a natural right hand. I'd generally be the guy to break fights up, but if I hit a guy on the chin, he'd fall down. And then in the gym with the training, I got a left hook that I could knock someone out, and I had a good jab. So I could punch really hard, but being against a pro, it's kind of like a poker game, like a good amateur versus a top pro, is even if I could hit harder than them, they could figure out my telegraphing, and by round 3 or round 4, anyway, I was just a good amateur, but it kept me in shape.
Yeah, that's good. Boxing is a hell of a workout. I did some somewhat of some boxing shit for about a year or two, just mostly sparring and just doing the boxing training and all that stuff. And I remember wearing me the fuck out.
Whoa. Yeah. It's not aerobic, it's anaerobic. People don't realize it's like running a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
But it kept, I mean, I haven't done it for years, but I've still got like muscles underneath a little fat layer going here, but for doing it.
Right, and you never really lose those muscles either. Like muscle memory and all comes back into play too, since you were doing that so long,
Yeah. Although I'm not I don't get into street fights and stuff like that. It's never been my nature.
That's probably a good thing.
not since I was 15 or 16 with these anti-Semites who bullied me when I was a little younger.
At least
a little bit of payback there.
That's good payback. Yeah, hopefully you hurt him pretty good. Yeah, street fights are something you want to avoid, even if you are like trained. Like nowadays, everybody's carrying weapons on them and stuff. It's best just to try to get the hell away from the situation as fast as you can.
Well, even if you win, you get sued and arrested. It's like there's no win.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with altercation does break out. Like, I'm going to protect myself and my wife, but the consequences of what I'm about to do, I'm probably going to be thrown in jail for, and I'm just protecting us. But there's so many laws and shit that are against you if you're trying to protect yourself. It sucks.
Yeah.
So try to avoid all that stuff. My biggest defense is I try to look big and mean. That way, hopefully, people stay away from us.
Well, I know Jew Kung Fu, and it's like I'll start with this hand move that kind of looks like Bruce Lee, and then I throw my hands up and go, I'll sue.
I'm sure that works.
As a Jew,
I'm sorry.
As a Jew, I could get away with that one.
That's awesome. Oh man, yeah, that's a good one. I had a recommendation for y'all for this year. Like so far, my favorite film this year that's came out was When Evil Lurks. Have y'all seen that yet?
No.
All right, okay. Well, have y'all ever seen the film called Terrified that came out back in 2018? It's a Spanish film.
No, but it's on our list.
Okay, Terrified is fucking awesome. That was my number one of 2018. And When Evil Lurks is the same director's second full-length film, and it kind of takes place in that same universe. It's super, super bleak, super dark, and there's no heroes in this, if you know what I mean. It's a downer, but it's really fucking good.
No spoilers.
well, Bloody Bridget, it's the thing. It's our Valentine vampire is the hero, and all of the victims totally deserve it.
That's always good when they deserve it. So,
Yeah.
Have y'all checked out Skinamarink? Skinamarink?
No.
No.
Okay, that's another one. I thought that came out last year, but I was wrong. I looked it up. It came out this year, but Skinamarink a really, really killer film. It won't be for everybody. You either love it or you fucking hate it. And I'm on the part I love it, but a lot of my friends hate it. But it's
Oh, I think I've heard of this one.
it's strange. It's not like a normal movie. It's something like I don't know. To me, it gives me the feeling of being trapped in like a nightmare when I was a kid or something. Like that's the kind of feelings I get from it. But it's strange, and the camera angles are fucking all off and all over the place. The soundtrack is just a bunch of ambient noise and everything. It's super weird. It can be really boring for most people, but if you're in that mindset, it's like one of the best horror films so far this year.
Wow. Okay, on our list.
So
On
we've
our
got
list.
3 now.
Yeah, and that's a good three. This year's been a bit slow with the really good shit. It seems like the good stuff's been coming out later in the year. Like When Evil Lurks just came out on Shudder, like what 2 weeks ago now. So it seems like we're getting a flow of some really good stuff, and also the new Addams Family movie's out now, which I need to see. No, if you're familiar with the Addams Family.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we watch. My brother did the music for the Wednesday TV show.
What new Addams Family is out? I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Addams Family production team. It's not the Addams Family like Wednesday Addams and all that stuff. It's the name of the family is the Addams Family.
Huh. Okay.
We'll check it out.
Yeah, one of their really cool films was it's called The Deeper You Dig, and that came out a few years ago now. But it's really good. It's a whole family that does everything. They're the Addams Family, like the family acts in it. They do all the production, special effects, all that stuff. It's all of them, and they're kind of, they travel all over the place doing films, and that's what they do. And they got a new one out right now that's messing with my head right now because I can't think about it. Hold on a second. I got the name of it right now. I got my phone pulled up. It is the new one is called Where the Devil Roams, and that just came out like maybe I think it was this month. Have you heard of that one?
No, but we're writing it down.
Okay. Yeah, Where the Devil Roams. Like, definitely want to check that out. They're really cool. Like I said, it's a whole family doing really awesome movies. And I just think it's cool how they work as a team like that. It's really badass.
Super, super.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm going to have to jump in a bit, but I want everybody to check out my vampire novel, The Schlimazel of Sebreim. It's funny and it's a fast, fun read on Encyclopedia Press.
Nice.
Encyclopocalypse.
Encyclopocalypse Press. They're super good
Encyclopocalypse.
guys, Mark and Sean. I love these guys. Also,
totally.
Joshua Milliken did a novelization of Forbidden Zone, which is just out as well, that I recommend.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that. I need to get that actually. So I need to get both of these. So yeah, because I got to get reading on these. And once I do read the new vampire novel, I give it like a small review on all my social pages, and I'll let people know where to get it from and stuff. And hopefully everybody listens to the podcast now goes and checks it out, because I'm sure you're in for a really good time.
That would be great. But hey, it's been great chatting. We're in a video today with the radioactive chicken heads. So
Oh, nice.
start getting ready.
Excellent. Well, it's been great talking to you. Nice meeting you, Anastasia. It's been great talking to you, Richard. So I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Hey, talk soon, and thank you very much.